Today, we're diving into the life of one of history's most revered women, Fatima, the daughter of the Prophet Muhammad. And her story, it's so much more than just her lineage. It's this powerful narrative of courage, of humility, and a kind of spiritual strength that has echoed for centuries. So, to really get a sense of just how deeply cherished she was, we have to start with this statement from her father. Now, in the Islamic tradition, these aren't just the words of a loving parent. No, this establishes her unique, almost sacred status. This bond is absolutely central to her entire life story. Her story begins, well, with a truly blessed beginning. Her birth wasn't just an ordinary event. It was talked about as something divinely foretold, which really set the stage for the incredible life she was about to lead. According to tradition, the story starts when the angel Gabriel gave her father a fruit from paradise, and the prophecy that came with it was crystal clear. A daughter would be born who was destined to become a leader among all women, a true model of virtue for everyone. You know, her names are really more like titles, each one defining a part of her very essence. Fatima means someone who is protected from the fire, a promise of salvation. And Azara, the radiant one, that speaks to her incredible character and her inner spiritual light. And this resemblance wasn't just on the surface. People who were closest to them, like the Prophet's wife, Aisha, said that Fatima was a mirror image of her father in everything, from her dignified walk to the core of her character. It just beautifully illustrates that profound connection. She was truly a living embodiment of his teachings. Now, this deep connection was tested, and tested hard, early on in her life. During the really intense persecution of the early Muslims in Makkah, a young Fatima had to step into this extraordinary role. She became her father's protector. I want you to just picture this for a second. The most powerful men in the city are humiliating her father, even placing filth on his back while he's praying. And a 10-year-old girl sees this. She doesn't freeze in fear. She runs forward, cleans the filth off his back with her own hands, and then fearlessly turns to these powerful men and confronts them. And this wasn't just a one-time thing. She was consistently his shield, his comfort, his support. Her deep, nurturing care earned her this incredible title, Abiha, the mother of her father. It's a beautiful paradox, right? Even though she was the child, her protective love was as fierce and unconditional as a mother's. Okay, so as Fatima grew older, her story took another huge, pivotal turn. Her marriage would go on to become one of the most significant unions in Islamic history. But how it started was a profound lesson in humility. Some of the wealthiest, most influential men of the time wanted to marry her, but her father gently turned them all away, waiting for the right person. And that choice fell on his young cousin, Ali, who was so humble and shy that he could barely even bring himself to ask. When he finally did, the Prophet's response wasn't about status or wealth. It was a simple, smiling question. And what do you have to offer? Turns out, Ali's only real possession of value was his armor. So the Prophet told him to sell it for the dowry. And here's where you see this beautiful display of community support. Another companion, Uthman, buys the armor and then immediately gifts it right back to Ali. This marriage wasn't sealed with gold, but with brotherhood and sincerity. Their life together started with incredible modesty. I mean, their home was sparse, their belongings were basic, so much so that their blanket wasn't even big enough to cover them completely. And yet, all of this material poverty was just completely overshadowed by the richness of their faith and their love for each other. And this really gets to the core lesson of their life together. Their story is basically a masterclass in prioritizing spiritual wealth over worldly comfort, all about focusing on the true riches of the heart. There's this one powerful story that just says it all. For 3 days straight, while they were fasting, they prepared their only food for the evening meal. And each day, someone in need knocked on their door. First a poor man, then an orphan, and then a captive. And each time, they gave away their entire meal without a moment's hesitation. This act of selflessness was so profound, it was actually commemorated in the Quran. But let's be real, their life was physically demanding. Fatima's hands were blistered and raw from grinding grain day in and day out. So one day, her husband Ali suggested, "Why don't you ask your father for a servant to help ease the burden?" So she went to her father, but he found it difficult to grant her request. He explained that he just couldn't give his own daughter a servant when there were poor, homeless people who were in much greater need. So instead of offering her worldly relief, he offered something far, far more valuable. He taught them a spiritual practice, a nightly remembrance of God, that he promised would be better for them than any worldly help could ever be. It was a source of inner strength, of spiritual energy. Ali would later say that from that day on, he never missed this practice, not even on the most difficult nights of his life.
And that brings us to the final, really poignant chapter of her life. Her father's death was a massive turning point, and her own final days would cement a legacy that continues to inspire millions of people today.
On his deathbed, the Prophet whispered something into her ear. And her reaction? She immediately started to weep. He had told her that his time on earth was coming to an end. It was the devastating news that any daughter would dread hearing.
But then, seeing her grief, he pulled her close and whispered again. And this time, she smiled, right through her tears. He had given her a reason to find joy in her sorrow, that she would be the very first person from his family to be reunited with him. For Fatima, that was the ultimate comfort.
And his prophecy came true. Just 6 months later, she passed away. That's how long she lived after him. The number itself just underscores the depth of their bond. A world without her father was a world she simply wasn't meant to be in for very long. Even in her final moments, her thoughts were of piety and principle. Her last request was for a new type of bier for her burial, one that was covered to conceal the shape of her body and preserve her modesty completely even in death. It was a final, thoughtful act that ended up becoming a lasting tradition. So, Fatima's life really leaves us with this powerful question, doesn't it? In a world that's so often defined by what we own and what we can get, her story challenges us to stop and think about what true wealth really means. She suggests that it's found not in what we possess, but in our faith, our charity, our resilience, and our capacity for love.